Good morning, distinguished guests. It's great to see you all. Ministers, parliamentarians, City of Warsaw officials, speakers, event partners, aspiring innovators, dear friends. Particularly warm welcome to the Secretary of State, Michał Jaros, and European Parliament Vice President, Martin Hojsik. It is an extraordinary honor to stand here before you at the MIT Global Startup Workshop 2025, at the heart of Warsaw in the iconic Palace of Culture and Science. The time before this start, before today, was filled with great expectations. And I must admit also a lot of anxiety at times. We were aiming to reach every innovator in a corporation, in a startup, among scientists, among students, and we didn't know if you will hear us. And even if you hear us, will you be motivated to come and join us? And here we are. We have 1,300 registered participants. Over 100 speakers from 17 different countries. 24 partnerships with different corporate partners, 30 community partnerships, and 11 media partnerships. On behalf of the organizers, MIT GSW and StartSmart CEE, a very heartfelt welcome and thank you for the trust that you took this journey with us. And we promise it will be great 2 days of lots of learning and lots of insights. To kick us off, I would like to share a personal story. I left Poland for the US at the age of 20. My dream then was to study at an American university. I did not know the US system. I did not know the Ivy League system. At the time, there was no internet, and Poland was in the grips of communism. About 6 months into my stay in the US, one morning, I remember it extremely well, I received a phone call from a woman who introduced herself, and she said, "This is Julie McClellan." She was the then admissions director at MIT, and in a calm voice, she said, "You have been admitted to the undergraduate program at MIT." I remember very well, when I hung up the phone, this was a thrill in my body. And I knew then, these are the moments that will shape the trajectory of your life. The halls of MIT became my second home. MIT was different in so many different ways than I knew until then. Critical thinking, questioning everything, learning by doing, openness to all sorts of ideas, multiculturalism, passion, nerdiness, quirkiness. I was surrounded by people who were studying biology, engineering, architecture, philosophy. The breadth of MIT campus was so exciting, and I was being confronted by all these different disciplines every day. The air was filled with excitement and with adventure. At MIT, I found not only acceptance, but also a community that believed in my potential and challenged me to grow. So, to all the young people in the audience, trust yourself, trust in your instincts, allow serendipity at times, take its course, and be thankful when something goes wrong, because we are the strongest in places in which we are broken. Today, standing before you, I feel a completion of a circle. What MIT gave to me, I can bring back today, and it's my great privilege, to Warsaw, to Poland, to Europe. And MIT's GSW, it's quite special. The unique thing about this conference that it comes to each innovation hub. You don't have to go to MIT campus. The MIT speakers came to you. They implanted themselves in our ecosystem. And I think you will feel that this is much more powerful. We will feel the spirit of innovation filling these halls. And I think you will sense it. It will stay with us long after this conference is over. I hope. The journey Poland has made in the last 10 years in innovation is quite remarkable. 10 years ago, when we talked about a tech startup, it was a software house building an app for someone else. These were our tech companies. We did not have too many corporations that believed in working with tiny startups. Today, we have 11 labs, ICE-I, Redstone, Nomagic, Spacelift, InPost, Booksy, Scope Fluidics, and many, many more. You'll have a chance to meet some of them at this venue. It seems to me we reached a tipping point in 2024. Does it feel like that to you as well? A little bit? So we have over 100 VCs, over 3,000 startups, and these are product startups this time. Many of them are scaling globally, and we have great innovation hubs in Wrocław, in Szczecin, in Gdańsk, in Krakow, and of course in Warsaw. And now corporations work with startups over and over again. Can we go faster in the next 10 years? Of course we can. What do we need? What is lacking? Many of you, many of us are working in different innovation hubs. What are we seeing there? What can we bring back? How can we make our ecosystem stronger? I'm told many times that we need more risk capital in Poland. Of course we do. But is it the most important thing? Capital in some way is a commodity, isn't it? And I would dare to say there are other things that may be more important. Poland will be spending a lot of capital in the next 10 years in two industries at least. One is energy transformation, and the second one, defense. How can we be sure that in addition to the foreign technology that we'll be buying here, our indigenous tech companies grow a lot faster? How can we organize that it happens? What policies do we need? We can go faster, but to what end? This conference, the title, the main theme is Shaping Tomorrow. But what kind of tomorrow? What kind of future do we want? What kind of future do you guys want? The other day, I was listening to Elon Musk, who was called to Tesla to an all-hands meeting. And he talked about the future. He promised it will be great. He said, one thing, we'll have all a humanoid, one humanoid per person. That humanoid will be our best friend. He will accompany us. He will make us laugh. He'll take care of us. He'll help us with every chore that we have to do. And the second thing he promised, Elon Musk, is that we'll be able to buy everything we absolutely want, whatever our heart desires, the economy of abundance. Is that the future we want? Do we need more empathy for each other? for the grass, for the nature, for the fish, for the tree. So I was looking at another visionary, Stanisław Lem. Some of you may know him. And he had a very interesting passage, and I'm going to read it from Phantomatics from 1996. What can a person connected to a phantomatic generator experience? Everything. He can climb the Alps, wander around the moon without a spacesuit or an oxygen mask, conquer medieval towns or the North Pole while heading a committed team and wearing shining armor. He can be cheered by crowds as a marathon runner or the greatest poet of all time and receive a Nobel Prize from the hands of the Swedish king. He can love Madame de Pompadour and be loved back by her. He can fly and then become a fish again and spend his life on a coral reef. As a shark, he can career with his mouth wide open towards his victims, eat them with great relish, and digest them with gusto in a quiet corner of his underwater cave. Sounds like augmented reality to me. But can augmented reality teach us empathy? Can we combine the two? Do we need more empathy? And one more thing that I think is quite important is information technology and news and the information that we share among each other. How can we be sure that in the future, the wise ones will speak louder? And another passage from Master Voice from 1968. Yet it turns out that freedom of expression sometimes presents a greater threat to an idea because forbidden thoughts may circulate in secret. But what can be done when an important fact is lost in a flood of impostors and the voice of truth comes drowned out in an ungodly din? When that voice, although freely resounding, cannot be heard because the technologies of information have led to a situation in which one can best receive the message of him who shouts the loudest, even when the most falls. So what kind of future do we want? Let's dream a little bit as we're circulating, drinking coffee and talking to each other. And we'll have a little bit of a competition at the end of the second day. So remember your thoughts. Okay, how is this event organized? There are 3 stages, as you've heard. This is the main stage. And we'll have 3 themes generally running through the conference. But we also have 2 special cherry themes. The first cherry theme is we've asked 3 executives from 3 important sectors to talk about the digitization in their space and also what opportunities and risks they see coming from AI. The second cherry theme is about Polish banking. We've invited the visionaries and the financial experts to present what we have achieved in Polish banking infrastructure. Because as you may know, the Polish banks are actually top-rated among their European peers. But what comes next? What is the next mountain they will climb? I'm really curious to hear this. And the 3 main themes are, first one is health tech. Why did we decide on that? Well, we've learned how to edit human genome, but now imagine combining it with AI. What can happen then? How much can we cut down the time to bring the really curing diseases to many, many people who really are waiting for that? The second theme is energy transformation. Can you imagine the world with abundant energy and very affordable? What if the European continent is all connected through fast electric trains and you can reach any city around the continent within 3 hours from Warsaw Wouldn't that be great? From this stage tomorrow, a new initiative will be launched. It's called Clean Tech for CEE. It is backed by Cleaner Fund and Breakthrough Energy. I hope you will all come and witness it. And the final, third theme is dual-use technologies. When we came up with this subject and suggested it to our GSW colleagues, we got a very surprised look and quite a bit of skepticism. This is actually the first time that GSW will be covering military technology, dual-use technology. First time ever. But this is also the sign of time. Since 2022, we are thinking about security a lot. And there is nothing better than really strong technological companies who can be here and give us security that our borders will not change. Ukrainians were able to bring and build their drone sector that is most fit right now in the world. This should be our inspiration. Let's learn from them. They will be here. We'll have a lot of opportunities to talk to our friends. Today, Europe is at crossroads. We have to be bold. We have to take action. And we have to be strong and resolute in what we do. The path forward also requires that we claim back our technological sovereignty. Thank you, America, for shocking us out of complacency. We need to reinvigorate our entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm sure we'll do it. Let's make Europe more harmonized so our founders can find a much bigger market, easier to scale in. So over the coming 2 days, you'll have the opportunity to learn from each other, to form connections, and to imagine new possibilities. You'll hear great minds who have transformed ideas into world-changing ventures. And most importantly, you will become part of that global community, because that community came here to you, to Warsaw, GSW. Innovation happens at the intersection of different disciplines. Innovation means building something in a new way, differently. But how can we know what is the problem that we really want to solve, that important problem? Usually, when we talk to people from different multidisciplines, we can get a much better result, because innovation happens at the intersection of the different disciplines. So, our hope here, on behalf of all the organizers, is to make sure that you exchange knowledge, make a lot of connections, and also leave this room, these halls, with renewed sense of purpose. Let's imagine the future. Let's aim high and boldly. We are such stuff as the dreams are made on. Welcome to MIT GSW. Before we begin, I would like to express deep gratitude to the Warsaw City Hall, in particular to one person, Dorota Dobrzyńska. Her dedication, ingenuity, helpfulness was really beyond expectations. To our gold partners, National Insurer PZU, leading for Polpharma Company, Polpharma Group, National Energy, Orlen, Coca-Cola, Google for Startups, Veolia, Cleaner Fund, thank you. To our silver partners, our media partners, our community partners, thank you again. To our event partners, Skalski Group and Olive Media, thank you. And to our wonderful volunteers, thank you. And last but not least, to the wonderful team of StartSmart CEE, my deepest appreciation goes to Łukasz Owczarek. who thought of every detail, woke me up sometimes, I must say, in strange hours of the day and night. He did an amazing amount of work over the last 5 months. To our brilliant StartSmart team, Magda, the CEO, Małgosia, Dominika, Edyta, and my co-founders, Paweł and Krzysztof. And deep thanks to the MIT GSW team. I'll have a chance to thank them again. But now I would like to ask to come to the stage a very special person. She has seen the birth of our foundation, Foundation for Tech Entrepreneurship. As it took different colors, pivots, turns, Kathleen Kennedy, the Senior Director of MIT Horizon and Executive Director, Center for Collective Intelligence. Kathleen, come on stage.
Thank you, Bogy. Thank you, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I spent an exciting long weekend at Heathrow Marriott. So thrilled to see everyone made it. This is my 5th GSW, but this one is really special because, as Bogy said, I was here at the beginning. I was here 10 years ago. At that time, I was the president of the MIT Enterprise Forum, the global group, and we were launching the MIT Enterprise Forum Poland. And I'll tell you what, the energy then, you could feel it. I think we actually did an event here, or at least this is when I first met the group. And I question whether or not that construction was still going on out there at the time. But it's a signal that things are happening. Now, at the time, in preparing for this, I was thinking about what was happening then. 2015, do you remember 2015? Oh, you guys were probably in grade school. But others of us were doing exciting things in technology. So at the time, I was also the president of MIT Technology Review, which is MIT's media company. And every year, we did a list called the TR10, the top 10 emerging technologies that were changing the world. And I did that presentation at the launch event, I'm sure. And I went back and looked at that list to sort of refresh my mind of where we were in 2015. What were the exciting things that were happening then? You wanna know what they were? All right. Apple Pay. Interesting innovation. Car-to-car communication. Google's Project Loon. There was a startup called Magic Leap that seemed really exciting. And then this idea around an internet of DNA. So that's what we thought was really exciting then. Where are we now? Let's fast forward. So Apple Pay, I used it this morning. I think that type of payment technology is now completely prevalent everywhere. Cars talk to each other. They're driving. They don't need us anymore. Project Loon got wound down, but in fact, we're seeing that type of sort of satellite communication that is now everywhere. Starlink, too early to talk about Elon Musk, so let's keep going. And then Google really scored big with AlphaFold. And that is, in a way, part of this idea around an internet of DNA. And we're seeing that these technologies are solving things that we've never been able to do before. So now here we are in 2025, 10 years later. So let me get back to my story. So in 2016, I left Technology Review to become the director of special projects at MIT, which is the coolest job in the world, by the way, as cool as it sounds. And then I was so busy with that that I left the board of the MIT Enterprise Forum. But I never lost touch with my friends in Poland. Bogy and Lucas built an amazing community here, and they would bring entrepreneurs to MIT. And bringing that connection is so important, and that was really what the MIT Enterprise Forum was always about. So let's see. We had a global pandemic in there. Fast forward to 2023, and Bogy called me up. And MIT was winding down the MIT Enterprise Forum. And I was privileged to be part of something new, the birth of StartSmart, and the idea of the next chapter of what was being built and those connections that are so important. So I just wanted to give you that brief history of how we went from there to here. And I'm so privileged to be part of the next chapter of what's happening on this stage over the next 2 days, bringing this magic and giving stage to what's next. So Bogy, thank you so much for including me.
Thank you. Stay on stage, Kathleen. Oh, okay. Stay on stage. And now I would like to ask a few more people to come to stage. So first of all, my partner in crime. Where are you? Always so well organized. Łukasz Owczarek. And the MIT GSW team. Mari, Tiffany, Dylan. Thank you guys for being here. And Mari, why don't you share a few words about the experience?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. So I first just have to preface by saying that the remarks I'm about to give express my own personal opinions and do not necessarily represent the views of MIT or GSW. So I have been a graduate student at MIT since 2021. And one of the very first things that I did when I got to MIT, literally within the first month of being there, was join the Global Startup Workshop, or GSW, organizing team. And I remember we had a really amazing program planned for GSW 2022, which was going to be in Tbilisi, Georgia. But as I'm sure you all know well, on February 24th, 2022, Russia attacked Ukraine. And so because of Georgia's history, we and our partners ultimately decided to cancel GSW 2022. Now, 3 years later, first, it's incredibly saddening that the Russian assault on Ukraine is still ongoing, but it also feels deeply meaningful and important to be standing here in Warsaw today and to be opening for a GSW program that features discussions on defense and dual-use technologies, the growing empowerment of Central and Eastern Europe as a business, financial, and tech hub, and, of course, stories of the founding and investing being done in Ukraine and by Ukrainian people. It is no surprise that this region is buzzing with entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship takes grit, determination, and perseverance. And the entire world has seen this region embody those traits time and time again. The city of Warsaw is also a symbol of resilience and a showcase of the greatness that awaits on the other side of conflict. And so I'm very grateful to be here in Warsaw today and to have the opportunity to learn about all of the amazing work being done in Poland, in Ukraine, and all around Central and Eastern Europe. So all the way back in 2021, I was so drawn to GSW for its ethos, which is that entrepreneurship is not just for MIT. No one at MIT was born with entrepreneurship in their DNA. But MIT does house a lot of knowledge and experience on innovation and entrepreneurship. So that is why we are here. Because the ideas that have made MIT so successful at generating great companies can be taught and they can be learned. So that is why GSW exists. GSW was born in 1998, a long time ago, when another MIT startup competition was getting a lot of attention from other institutions all over the world who were looking to improve their own competitions. And so GSW is not about just bringing 2 days of content and a competition to some other place. It is about sharing with all of you some perspectives and tools that you can apply to your own ideas, ventures, and ecosystems for years to come. So when the 2 days of GSW are over, it is not back to business as usual. We will leave this building, some of us will leave Warsaw, but the ideas shared here and the connections made here will stay with all of you. You will go on to apply those ideas, to further share them, to further develop those connections, and so the impact only grows with time. The last GSW was in Athens in 2023, and at the end of that conference, over 70% of attendees said that they had made a valuable connection or met someone inspiring at GSW. More than 80% said that GSW gave them fresh ideas. And I'll also give one more specific example. At GSW 2023, we were very lucky to have Lars Rasmussen, who's an angel investor and inventor of Google Maps, judge our competition. Less than 3 months after that GSW, it was reported that Lars had invested in the winner of our competition, ResQ Biotech. Just last month, ResQ Biotech also became the very first Greek company ever to win a European Research Council proof of concept grant. So we had left Athens, but the knowledge stayed, the connection stayed, and the impact grew and continues to grow there still to this day. And GSW has done just this in 23 countries all over the world, with Poland as number 24. So we are so excited to see what you all are going to do with what you learn here. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to all of you and to our wonderful, wonderful partners at StartSmart CEE for having us here in Warsaw. And please enjoy GSW 2025.